Doc, I read on your Wikipedia, I mean, of course, you don't know if that's true. A lot of stuff on Wikipedia about me isn't true, but it talks about you were born in Cuba, then lived in France before you came to the U.S., and that you yourself were at least part Jewish, so I guess that might be, if that's true, one reason you're so informed historically on this. If you want to tell us, it'd just be an interesting piece of history. But then in closing, is the war on for Iran, or were they trying to, and this failed, and now they're talking about more plots? Oh, you don't believe that? We've got more ridiculous plots for us. So take us out with that information today, sir.
Much personal and factual. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's just, I brought up the personal thing, just, on the whole issue of Israel. You know a lot about it. I was wondering if your Wikipedia...
I know Israel very well, because Israel... There was two Israels. The creation of the state was done so that there was refugee, a place for Jews who were coming out of the camps, but not literally. They wanted to base Israel. Most people have to understand Ben-Gurion practiced law in Istanbul, in Turkey. His model was Ataturk. Ataturk was very clear that he wanted a secular state with a strong military. That's really what was built. They didn't really care about religious Jews or the Jews in the camps. What they had in mind in the Zionist socialist organization was to have young Jews, people who could build the country and at all cost, and then go to war. What Israel has never done repeatedly was, one, to admit the genocide that they officially recognized years ago against the Palestinians. There is no question that the Haganah and the Palmach and different units of the Israeli army at that time had slaughtered and forced people who are now considered Palestinians out of the land, out of Jaffa, out of the different areas of Israel. And if Israel is to come to terms with anyone in the Middle East, they have to, number one, admit what they have done. Number two, come to terms that they are a nation, not a spoiled child, as Erdogan say, of America, and continuously whining and complaining and holding on to the Dennis Rosses and the Clintons and the presidents of the United States, threatening them that the Jewish vote in the United States will not back them. That will no longer be true. J-Star started. There are many American Jews and others like myself who know
I understand
Israel so well that it's really quite shameful. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer, because you're an extremely knowledgeable man. How many Jews were in Hitler's army?
No, reportedly thousands.
How many thousands?
I've read it in quite a few history books, but I never asked. Yeah.
135,000 Jews in Hitler's army. This is not my association. You have to read a book by Brian Riggs, R-I-G-G-S. He's a very brilliant former IDF Marine man who's a banker, actually, in Texas. He wrote a very brilliant book called The German Jews in Hitler's Army. This is very well documented. The number one man who was in charge of the decimation of Jews was Heydrich in the SS. He was a Jew. His father was a Jew. And Israel can deny it.
You're talking about the blonde beast.
In fact, he was born in Austria. The two heads of the 5 field commanders, if you take away Dinitz and you take away Rommel, were Jews. Bloch and another both had developed the Blitzkrieg and the Anschluss. These were brilliant generals who were converted to Aryans. So the notion of the history of how Holocaust came about is totally distorted by Israel in favor of what Israel needed for its national security.
Sir, we're out of time. We'll have to get back to this next time. Thank you, Steve Pieczenik. Hopefully there's not going to be war with Iran. We'll see you back Sunday and back Monday.
You don't need me to tell you that humanity is in a deep crisis. Everyone can feel it. We know a tectonic struggle is now taking place between the forces of freedom and those who love darkness, bondage, and enslavement. Yes, my friends, evil is rising. But take heart. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Recently, New World Order operative Hillary Clinton admitted they're losing the info war.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
The globalists are scared. They've overreached. The future of the info war is in your hands. Join PrisonPlanet.tv. Download the thousands of special video reports, ebooks, and more, and get them out to everyone you know. Continue to spread the word about the broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and every other globalist propaganda platform. We are going to use their system against them. The info war now goes into high gear.